Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you guys hear the air conditioner in the background, I apologize. It will go on and off, and also there are people mowing the lawn, and honestly, like, there's always a noise in here that's gonna be going on, and I just can't turn it off. It's also really hot, so turning off the air is kind of like not an option. But anyways, I'm going on a tangent because today I wanted to talk to you guys about my current thing that I've been kind of, I guess, obsessed with. But I have normally read books before. I do love to read every now and then, but I've been reading a lot more this past year than I ever have, so I'm gonna show you guys some of the books that I've read and my review on them, like a really short review, and then I'm gonna show you guys the books that I'm going to read, and y'all just let me know if I should do like a deep like synopsis of each one. I also have a book that is currently a movie, so I kind of want to read that and then watch the movie and then give my review on that. It's gonna be great. And then there's also some drama with that, so if you know, you know. But anyways, let's start out with the books that I kind of started last year reading and then finished this year. I could definitely hear that lawnmower. Thank you. So I've read some books last year, but I'm not going to regress back to last year. But this year I finished a kind of like a series, I guess. I haven't read the other ones. So I have read these, which is Twilight, New Moon, Eclipse, Breaking Dawn. Read all of those. And then I read Midnight Sun. Now there's two other books that are out there, like The Short Life of Bree something, and then like something else, and I'm just not gonna read those. I don't really care for that. But these ones I really did want to read, and honestly, like, they look great. They were great. They were a great read. If you know Twilight, you know Twilight. I just wanted to read them, and I realized watching the movies afterwards, after the series, I realized like their relationship in the book and in the movies are completely different. You know, it's not the same. Bella's a little bit more spunky, a little bit more sassy. Bella in the movie is like tame, and she's just not all that. So I love the books more than I love the movies, but I still love the movies. I still love watching the movies every now and then. And I probably will reread these books eventually again. Yeah. So I would recommend those. And I was talking to my supervisor about how I was reading these books, and then she got me into kind of like dark romance. Me and my supervisor are not like that far in age, so that's probably why. But anyways, she got me into these books by Sarah, I think her name is Sarah J. Maas, and it is obviously the famous A Court of Thorns and Roses series. Now, my favorite out of all of these is the second one, but I also liked this one. This one I didn't mind very much at all, but I was like, can the war happen? Like, how much longer until the war? Like, is it done? Are we gonna be finished? Is there some more fighting? Like, come on, let's figure it out. I didn't really understand the premise of this one, but I kind of see it as like a transition from like this, like Freya into like Nesta's story in the last book. So my review on this series, I would give a 4 out of 5. A 4 out of 5. I like it. The first book, it took me some time to get into it. It really did. It took me a couple of pages, like at least 100. I was like studying fast because I had already bought the series, okay? I was like, Kayla, you gotta read it now. Like, you gotta read it. And so I went to 100 pages, and after 100 pages, it was like picking up, and I was like, oh my God, yes, yes, yes. And then, if you know the story, you know, like, I was rooting for Tamlin, okay? By this book, I was rooting for the other guy, okay? Reese? Yes, yes, I would recommend. You know, it's some of the books are not always my fave, and some of the reading is a little tough sometimes, but it's a great one. It's a really great series. You could get lost in it, and it's good. Perfect. Recommend. Okay. I also read this book, which is Red, White, and Royal Blue. This is also a book that is a movie. And I read this book, and then I watched the movie, and obviously the movie did not really, like, encompass, is that a good word? I guess that's a good word. Like, everything in this book. Like, the story is so much better in the book than it is in the movie. So, I recommend. It's a great read, easy read. You're not, like, suffering through the read, and it's definitely like a young adult book. I mean, it has some scenes in it that's a little ooh, but definitely not crazy, I think. If you want a book that has spice and a lot of spice in it, then, you know, you could read this one, especially this last one, because that one has a lot of spice and a lot of detail in this last book. I don't know what Sarah J. Maas was on about. She was like, oh yeah, let me add some spice in here, and then she got to the last one, she was like, let me throw the spice at you, actually. So this was a great refresher. I think I read it during the time that I was reading that series, so 10 out of 10, recommend. Let's see some other books before I get over to those books. Well, I'll show you guys these books. I also read Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. I am in love with this series. I read this book. I spent all day Sunday, and then I went to work Monday, and then I spent most of my night reading this. I finished it by Monday night, and I loved it. I loved this book. It was so good. Iron Flame, I can't wait for the next book. I literally cannot wait for the next book, because the third book is going to be so great. When I got to the end of this book, I was like, no. So I just hope she's not going to break my heart, because I can't be heartbroken. I don't want to be heartbroken. I just can't. I don't want to be heartbroken. So I'm hoping that, like, he's going to be able. But I don't want to give off too much about the story. I would say 10 out of 10. Well, I guess I was rating it out of 5. So 5 out of 5. Spice in this book, really good, okay? Really good spice, cute. It gets spicy up in here. It gets spicy in Iron Flame. It gets real spicy. And I'm like, guys, it is too much sometimes. I was like literally screaming, and my boyfriend would be like, why are you screaming? And I'm like, it's because this book is like going into detail about some of this stuff. Very nice read. 10 out of 10, recommend if you want to get into some dark romance, also into like fantasy, because A Court of Thorns and Roses is also fantasy with like fays and stuff. This is not really about fays, but it's about dragons. and I really love it. So 10 out of 10 would recommend. Now, because I started reading so much, I decided that I was going to buy a Kindle. My boyfriend and me went to Best Buy. It was like literally like a spontaneous thing, and I was like, I want a Kindle, should I get one? And he was like, yeah, like you should get a Kindle. And so we went to Best Buy that same day and I got a Kindle. I got this, is like a magnetic pop socket, so you could just, I'm just gonna slide it on off. Now this is just like, you can get them like in a pack, and I put it in the middle of this just to make it look cuter, but this just came, this white part came with the pop socket, but the other stuff came, I think it's like magnetic, I don't know, like flats or something like that, because then I have 2 more on the back here, and then I just take my pop socket and I just slap it on right there, and then here it is. I love this thing a lot. I read a lot more on this. I was actually watching a kind of TikTok person, and she was talking about how she like is like Kindle blind, because when she picks up the book that she read, like the actual book, she's like, it's so much more bigger than I thought it was, and I felt like I flew through the book on a Kindle. And I agree with her, because I'm like reading some of these books, like I will spend like 2 days on my Kindle just reading a book, and then I look at like the page count and it's like 500 pages, and I'm like, or like 600 pages. So I'll get like a book that's about 500, 600 pages. And I'm like, I read that book in 2 days. Like, that's crazy to me. But I'm just reading a lot faster because I am now actually reading. So, on my Kindle, what were some things that I read? I can show you. So I also read Red, White, and Royal Blue on here, but I got like the paper. I didn't read the book. Like I read it on the Kindle, which is crazy. But I also I started reading, I think her name is Anna Huang. I think that's what her name is. But I did not start off with the Twisted series. I haven't finished it. I've read one book. I'm hoping I can go on to the next one. We're just taking some time right now, okay? But I read the King of Sins series, the 4 books that she has there currently, and I loved it. I ate those books up. I remember when I was reading on Wattpad, and I loved mafia, like stuff like that. Always was in my library. I love those type of things, those type of love stories. There was also I don't know why I'm like doing that. There's like hair in my, anyways, I also had this book. It's called Shattered, and it's not like any of the books that are out there in like paper book. It was a Wattpad book called Shattered, and the synopsis was like, the werewolf, she was a werewolf, and her mate was like the alpha, and apparently before they figured out they were mates or whatever, he had slept with this other girl, and she was saying that she was pregnant, and so obviously she was upset because she was like, oh my god, my mate is now gonna have to marry this other girl and like have his child. And so she gets like, she's literally shattered, her heart is broken, and she goes out to war, and she like fights, and she becomes this warrior, and then she comes on back, and he's the alpha, right? Because he was young before, so he wasn't an alpha yet, but he was like, you know, the next person in line. He was the alpha at that point, and they like rekindle their relationships, and like so many things happen, like, you know, she wasn't really pregnant, blah blah. It was just, I don't know if y'all know that story, but if you do, let me know, because I don't know if I could still find it. I should really look on Wattpad to see if I know if I could still find it. But like, that was my favorite book. I would reread it. Anyways, I'm going on a tangent. King of Sins, the series right now, what my favorite one, I think is the first one, King of Wrath. Personally, I don't know what it is. I love it. I love it. I would give this a 5, a 4. Sometimes in this series, I feel like there could have been some better writing. But it's a fun read. It's a fun read. So, personally, I recommend. Okay, so here we have the Twisted series. As you can see, I only have read the first one, like 65%. I also can't get past the covers. I don't know about y'all, but I would never read a book like that, like an actual paper book with that cover on it. Personally, I just wouldn't be able to do it. So, it's fine. It's fine, but not my fave. So another book that I've read, Crowns of Nyxasia. I think that's what you say. But it's The Serpent and the Wings of Night. And the second book is The Ashes in the Star-Cursed King. This is like vampires stuff. 5 out of 10. 5 out of 10. 5 out of 5. I recommend. It is good. It is good. It is good. And if you want spice, it's extra good. The Kings of Sin also have spice in it too. So most of these books have spice, okay? I love it. Okay, I love this like 2 books. I think there's gonna be a third one, so when that comes out, I'll let you know. Okay, let's look at this. Kingdom of Lies. Kingdom of Lies. 5 out of 5. I really like it. I read it so fast. I probably am going to reread it again so that I can totally understand it, but I personally really loved it. I loved the spice. I loved just like everything about it. It was just really good. I don't know. I love those type of stories where they kind of like hate each other and then they fall in love, because I wish my life was like that, but obviously that's not realistic, okay guys? So don't be going out there trying to think you're gonna find somebody who's gonna love you like that. Another book that I read is called Lethal Vows. You can kind of see that. Now there's another book in the series. There's 2 out of 4 items in this series, which I have not read yet. And that was a good read. The first one was a good read. So it's kind of like King of Sins, but just a bit different. It was a fun read. I really liked it. My recent read is, you're not going to believe this. Hold on. don't know what I'm reading right here, but sorry guys, just give me a second. Okay. So, I don't know if this is gonna, if I close it with it, it'll, okay. So I recently read Quicksilver. If you are on Booktok, you would know that people are talking about this book. It is a good read. Now, it's pretty predictable. I knew it from the jump. I was like, y'all are not about to tell me that this girl and this guy don't know that they have a connect. Like, it's cute. It's cute. I just think it's a little predictable, but nevertheless, I still loved it. It was a good read. I couldn't put it down. I was like, I want to know more. Obviously, there's going to be another book after this, and it's going to be pretty good. So, I would recommend, and it also has some spice in it, some really good spice. So, if you like fays, kind of like the A Court of Thorns and Roses series, you're gonna like this series as well. As they have fays, vampires. It's like pretty interesting. Now, I wanted to also say about Fourth Wing, it kind of reminds me of Divergent because they're wearing like black and like, you know, they're the most dangerous wing of them all. Not wing, but like there's the, you know, dragon riders, then there's the people who read, you know, like I thought it was like giving me Divergent a little bit. So just so you know, now I'm going to show you guys some of the things that I'm going to read next. Now, I might have to cut out that one part. I was trying to do like, I don't want to edit this video. So I might just upload it just like this because it is what it is. You're just going to sit down and talk with me today. Okay. So the books that I am trying to read next is, I'm going to show you guys some of the stuff on my Kindle first. So I want to read The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. I heard that Frida McFadden is a really good book author and I want to be able to read some of her books. So I have that saved in my Kindle. I also have The Cruel Prince. Now, some people said it was a hard read. So, but it is a series. So I'm going to give the first book a try. And if I can't get through the first book, we just are not going to try. And then also I want to read One of Us is Lying, because I heard that's a show. Also, another show is, I think it's called like The Girl... what was it called? No. Good Girl's Guide to Murder. So I want to read that book as well, like that series, because they also made that into a show. So I'm wanting to read that. I have like a long TBR and I have it written down in a book somewhere, but I need to write it nicely before I show it to you guys. But also another read that I want to do is It Ends With Us. Now, Colleen Hoover, I haven't picked up a book from her because I've heard a lot of controversial stuff and a lot of controversial things, and I just didn't know if I wanted to buy a book of hers. So I decided I was going to bite the bullet and read it, because I want to understand where the movie is coming from. So very interesting. So apparently my nails match the book cover a bit. It is what it is. But yeah, I am going to read that, I guess. It is what it is. I'm gonna give it a shot. And there is another second book to it. It starts with Us, apparently, is the second book. Yeah. I'm gonna give it a try. I don't know. Now, I needed to also just take a break from romance, dark romance, and read like a mystery. And so I picked up this book, And There He Kept Her. Kind of like a mystery, kind of like a thriller. I'm ready to give a book with less romance in it a try. Again, I used to love mystery a lot. My next book is a dark romance, Powerless. I've heard good things and bad things about this book. There is a second book to this called Reckless that I'm going to give a try, but I'm going to read this book first, so I'll give that a try. Then I also have From Blood and Ash. This is also a series. This is the first book, so I'm going to give this a try. Now, some people love it. Again, good and bad reviews. I'll let y'all know if I love it or not. And then I ordered this series in my Amazon cart. Usually I go and shop at Barnes & Nobles because I love to go pick up books, but this I got from Amazon. It was 50 bucks for all of these, so if you want to save some money, you can get these from Amazon. I also got this from Amazon. It is still in its packaging because it literally came today. It's a little mashed up in the back, but I'm not that picky. I really don't care. But there's some edges, I guess, in the back here that are a little mashed up. But the main point for me is the books. And as you can see, this is a Sarah J. Maas series. It is the Throne of Glass series, and I am going to prepare myself for this series. I am a little intimidated, not gonna lie, because there's a lot of books in this series. Okay, A Court of Thorns and Roses had 5 books. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 5. But this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 books. And that's a lot. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. That's a lot of books. But apparently this first book was not like out first, but they do put it first in the set. So I think it's recommending that you read it first. So I'm gonna read this book first, and then I'm just gonna follow it down the line. It seems like as you get further, the books get bigger, so that's nice. But anyways, I'm gonna give this a try, and I will let you guys know. There are other books that I want to read, but you guys can always just let me know what series I should read next. I heard about like something Academy or Academia, I don't remember, but apparently those books, the Zodiac Academy, let me see if it's on Kindle Unlimited, because that would be so nice if I didn't have to buy like another book series. because that would be so nice. But if I have to buy the books, it's fine. Let's see. Yes, they do. They are on Kindle Unlimited. So I'm going to actually save that to my library so I can remember. Oh my God. Apparently I didn't know Kindle Unlimited, you gotta return to continue. But anyways, I got, I'm gonna probably read that Zodiac Academy. That's gonna be good. That's a series as well. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you guys another time. And let me know some of your reading recommendations, of course. Bye!